low. She got that rhythm and flow, rhythm and flow. Gotta get that rhythm and flow, rhythm and flow. She got that rhythm and flow, rhythm and yeah, that rhythm and flow. Radio show. The time has come for me to turn up, turn to the run up. She got that radio, hit the burn up. That inspiration, we just turn up. She got that international cheer. Peace and love with care. Cover all that's there. Total love. Donation, support whenever you go, wherever you listen. Knowing how you do it, she always glisten. I'm telling you, we gotta get it right. So tune in, baby, right now tonight. She get rhythm and flow, rhythm and flow, rhythm and flow. She got that rhythm and flow, rhythm and flow. Let me hear that rhythm and flow. Radio show.
Okay, bring me in. Welcome to the number one internet radio station, IntellectualRadio.com, an iHeart radio station with over 70 shows, streaming 24/7 on your smart device with internet access. I am big and beautiful. I am fat, ooh, and also fabulous. I'm plump and I'm pretty. I'm getting curvy, but I've always been cute. I'm getting curvy, but I've always been cute. But most important, I'm master of Rhythm Flow Radio, your host, Katie Lowe, and I want to welcome you to the house that Earl built. Today's show is brought to you by Oval Cleaning, Oval Cleaning Inc., professional cleaning service, commercial and residential, carpet, windows, floors, and more, office and post construction. Call my friend Mike at 708-528-6825. Or my good buddy Steve at 708-600-9063. That's Oval Cleaning for all your cleaning needs. You know, I want to play this song to you before we get into the show because when this song is recorded by Charmaine. I believe her last name is DuPont. And this is a song that she recorded while I'm finding it. This is a song that she recorded, and it had to do with all of the violence and stuff that was happening in Chicago and how we need to make a change and do things. But it also talked about an unsung hero. So we're going to listen to the song and we're going to be back in a minute and we're going to do what's trending on Facebook and bring in our guest.
Like the waves of the sea, rolling over and over, never ceasing to be. Tell me how far can we really see? Like the mountains we climb, stretching longer and harder through this thing called life. We're only here for a measure of time. Oh, little did they know your manifest story would grow and we'd all come to know you'll never be an unsung hero. Well, it's just like the breath of the wind sings the truth of a story that's hidden within. Ain't no such thing as a secret sin. There are no secret sins. Just like a walk in the park, it's a casual thing to dance to the song of the Lord. Oh, but you better beware the arrow that flies in the day and in the dark. Oh, little did they know your manifest story would grow and we'd all come to know you'll never be an unsung hero. A life of integrity, start burning bright, striving to do all the things that are right. Humble and meek, but eternally falling asleep. Stop killing all of my heroes.
A launching pad for a moment, just like we did with Emmett Till. There'll be a launching pad for a moment to change America. As I watch people of all races and creeds and ages come together and speak out, I pray that we will finally come together in unity and create a voice of black and white and brown and young and old to come together with a cry for justice and equality that nobody can listen to in America. Michael Carter, like President Obama said, do some soul searching, America. Let's finally have the discussion on race and racial profiling and unravel the sin of racism.
Little did they know your manifest story would grow and we'd all come to know you'll never be an unsung hero. Well, it's just like Martin and John. Legacy's gone much too soon. Dare you to take your story much further than right here. And there's so much greed and political corruption. Tell me how much more are we really gonna stand? Oh, little did they know your manifest story would grow and we'd all come to know. Stop killing all of my heroes. Stop the police brutality.
And say we will not tolerate killing
Unsung Hero. The Unsung Hero by Charmaine DuPont, who is a guest on Rhythm Flow, a part of Intellectual Radio iHeart, every first Tuesday of the month. Natural Flow, Charmaine and DuPont, and Natural Flow, that includes my friend, crazy man, Brian McLemore Smith, and saxophonist Rochelle Jester. So every first Tuesday, you can catch them right here at Intellectual Radio. You know, I always like to talk about what's trending on Facebook. I'm not going to try to be cute because, girl, I can't see. And I can't wear contacts no more. Because I used to wear contacts and I'd go out and party. And, you know, once you go out and party, I used to drink that tequila, those shots of Jose Cuervo. Then I graduated to be some Patrol. Mm-hmm. And I used to wear contacts. And one night I was a little too tipsy. So I went home and I went to sleep in them. So we never wore them anymore. But anything, I want everybody to remind everybody it's tax day. And I hope everybody did their taxes. And if you get your refund, my number is 1-800-800-8000. Text me $1. You know you can text money over the phone now. All you got to do is have a bank account. So it's tax day and taxes are due. I mean, it's time for you to file your income tax. It better be filed by the day because you get penalized. Another thing is trending is the weather. I mean, this is April and this is spring. You know, and I had a talk with Mother Nature. And I told her, I said, you need to put down that GPS you need to quit using your GPS because your GPS will get you lost. And now we have lost spring and winter. So we got a real problem. One of the biggest things that is trending right now is Barbara Bush is gravely ill.
Wow.
Yeah, and she don't want any more hospital treatment.
Right.
Yeah, she says she's tired of it. You know, she don't want to go to the doctor anymore or anything of that nature. She just want to go home. And I guess if the good Lord calls her, she just want to go. You know, none of that. What is that called? It DNR, do not resuscitate. That's what she's written on her folder. Do not resuscitate. Another thing is trending is Michael Jackson's mother had a stroke, Katherine Jackson. So, you know, we all need to put these people in our prayers because we never know when it's our time. Now, the big thing that's trending, and I know everybody know about this because everybody has seen this. Starbucks. Yeah, it's trending. I mean, you mean to tell me you can't go in Starbucks
and sit and wait, or even just use your computer?
I mean, girl, don't you know that used to be the thing? Because they call us, not only are they coffee shops, they're internet cafes.
They have free Wi-Fi.
Right. 2 African American men in Starbucks waiting on a third party and got arrested.
That's the way the world is today. Never changed. Never changed. They try to cover it up. They try to make it seem like that we're not, I still call it in some way enslavement towards some, I'm not going to say all, to some Caucasians. They still treat us that way.
Well, you know, racism is in the DNA of America.
Yes, it is.
Now, you know what? We done had a long conversation, and she gonna freeze up on. Racism is in the DNA of America, and it's something that we look like that we can't get rid of. But in the case of Starbucks, this is 2018. Why come a black man can't go into a Starbucks and wait on somebody
without being harassed? I've never seen that because I go to Starbucks by my job all the time. And I see a lot of people in there that don't even be buying coffee. They go there to specifically use the Wi-Fi. Right. They use the internet.
Well, you know, and really, I was a red pusher. That's what I was. But they paid $25 an hour for me to go out and give away their cigarettes. They paid $25 an hour. Plus, they gave you a $25 a day allowance. That was for the use of your cell phone and to buy you gas because you use your car. I used to have my Starbucks I used to have me a cappuccino. And I could have swore that they put something in that cappuccino because once I drank it, baby, I was on cloud 9. I was ready to work. I was geeked. And I used to love them. So now that I've gotten old bucks to be geeked, I'm just geeked, period, about life. But anyway, to see something like that happen in 2018, I mean, it's just crazy. It's amazingly stupid in this day and age. I mean, what is it? It's been 15 decades ago that slavery started. Has it been 15 decades ago? Over 150 years?
Right.
And you would think now by 2018 that this would be over?
No, they just sweep it under the rug.
They don't sweep it. A lot of people have not been saying what they mean. But since Trump is the president and he's advocating a lot of this, people don't feel they have anything to hide. And just do
they
whatever.
Just out in the open with it.
Right.
Because he entertains the ignorance.
Yes, he does.
He entertains the ignorance.
Yes, he
And
does.
they feel
Yeah.
they can do it and get away with it.
Well, I guess if you got a man like Donald Trump in the White House, I usually call him 45 because I was so in love with 44. So I call him 45. When you have a man like Donald Trump, I shouldn't even call him a man.
Just 45.
Just
45.
45,
Just
right? Okay.
45.
In the White House, who spews out language of racism and hatred. I mean, all during his campaign, he did it.
Mhm.
So when you have somebody like that running the country, I guess all of that, I call them those little bugs that was in the rug that were afraid to come out.
Mhm.
Okay. You got somebody like that in the White House, you give them a reason to come out and show their faces. Because a lot of times, you know, it wouldn't they do it, but they do it in the
Mhm.
dark. Now they just do it in the bright open daylight. They don't care.
Absolutely.
So, and then now they're talking about what they're gonna close. How many stores?
8,000.
80,000.
8.
8,000? Is it 8,000?
8.
8,000 stores on May 29th. They're gonna teach a class in racial something.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, I had said earlier, and I'm gonna say this: when you hire me as an employee, because if I worked at Starbucks, I'm really a customer service rep.
Right.
I'm the person that you see when you walk through the door.
Mhm.
My persona, my attitude, my personality has a lot to do with whether you'll come back or not.
Mhm.
Okay? Or whether you'll write a complaint, or whether you're gonna be happy with your service. You don't hire me to be nice to just one race of people. You hire me to be nice to every race of people because the black dollar spends. I forgot how many, is it billions that we spend yearly? Our dollar is very powerful. So our dollar is just as good as yours. So when I walk into the store, you shouldn't look at me as a color. You should look at me as a human.
That's
You
customer.
shouldn't look at me as a customer. You shouldn't look at me as a male or a female. You should say, here comes a human being. Let me make this money for my boss. But with an attitude like that, I mean, you've started a major boycott, a manager who makes his phone call and he wants him out of Starbucks. Now, he's not there anymore.
Right.
But just because you removed him doesn't stop anything.
No.
Okay? So you've caused a major boycott. People want to boycott. Really, I think they want to shut that Starbucks down. They just want to get rid of it.
They probably do.
So I don't understand why you got to teach a class
Mhm.
on race sensitivity. You shouldn't have to do that.
That should be taught at home,
Absolutely.
and all of that starts at home. All of that starts.
But
at
you
home.
know, some parents are still teaching. Laws. It's like if you look in Congress, look at all of the people that are in the U.S. Congress. There are some of them that have been there with a computer. It's time for somebody to go. It needs some new life. It needs some new energy. It really does.
Mhm.
And we're not getting that. And that's why we're having a lot of these problems today. Because when your leader is racist, you make all of the other, I don't want to call the groups, but you make all of the other race baiters and haters, you
Mhm.
make them come up, out of the ground. Another thing that's trending on Facebook is a 14-year-old boy. This boy overslept. And a lot of kids do that. He overslept. And he missed his bus going to school. And when he missed his bus going to school, of course, he stopped in the neighborhood at somebody's house and rang their doorbell, trying to get some help. And, trying to get some help to give him some directions to make it to school. His name was, looked like Breon Walker. And pray tell, a white woman came to the door. And while he was trying to explain, I wasn't there. I'm just telling you what I read. Okay. Because you got to think that I was there from the way I'm talking. But he was trying to get directions from her. And he claims that the lady started screaming and hollering, "Oh, you're going to break in on me. You're going to rob me." So her husband was upstairs, her screaming. So he came down with the gun. And just so happened that this young boy took out running. He shot at him, but he missed him. And it said that he ran so hard and he started crying. He tried to find him a safe place. Okay. So he did find a safe place. And after he found a safe place, after a while, the cops were called and everything, and they found him. And once they found him and they got his side of the story, the homeowner was back in history. So, we talk about history and civil rights repeating itself. Believe me, you are living in a time when it's definitely happening.
He wasn't even in the house. He was on the front porch.
On the front, isn't that something? So, I mean, these things are happening, and hey, it's really horrible. Another thing that is trending, poor Steve Harvey. You don't know about him?
No.
Steve Harvey has a lawsuit against him that has been filed by a young lady that was on his show. Her name was Dominique Collier. And she was a guest on the Steve Harvey show. And it was about single moms. Okay. Even though she was a professional single mom, she was single. And I guess it's like, how they have the little dating shows and stuff. And, we never know what goes on behind the scenes. But I tell you what you see here is what you see at Intellectual Radio is real. We ain't changing no clothes up in here. We ain't making nobody up. We come from home looking just like this. So if you ever see me sitting here in this seat in my pajamas, I had a nice night. It ain't like they put me in them. Okay? What you see is what you get. But I guess, when we're watching TV, they change your clothes. They put you, about it because you've been, listen, you're a producer, a director, an author, so many things in the industry. Mm-hmm. So, you get made up. Mm-hmm. If they want to make you look professional, they'll dress you in clothes that look professional. Mm-hmm. If they make you want to look like a slut, they slut you down. Okay. So they have all types of clothes to make you look different. So she goes in a suit, and all of a sudden they give her these clothes to change in. And what they did was they asked the audience to give their reactions, and they gave them a list of verbs to describe her. And they were, whore, slut, ratchet, and daddy issues. Okay.
Wow.
And she became upset. So when she found out, after everything had happened, she contacted the show and asked the show not to air her segment. Mm-hmm. Because she was embarrassed. She contacted them before it aired. They aired it anyway, right?
Of course.
So that's what the lawsuit is about. It's not that he put his hands on her and he rubbed on her, tried to make a move. It was about changing her character into something that she didn't agree with. So, Diane, you got anything that
the engine that fell off the Southwest airline plane?
Okay.
The lady was killed.
She was killed?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Pieces of the engine flew back and cracked the window.
Oh, he said, pull your mic up.
Cracked the window.
Thank you, Mr. Producer. That's some good information. My last thing that I want to talk about is this doctor named Hubert Smitherman. He is a pioneer, executive, and professional chemist. For who? Procter and Gamble. Now, a lot of people think he invented Crest toothpaste. But I did my research. He did not invent it. He didn't invent it. But what he did was, because he is a chemist, he improved the formula to help with our decaying teeth. That's what he did. Now, there's some other things that he's recognized for, and that's Folgers Coffee, Bounce Fabric Softener, and Safeguard Soap. So, this was very enlightening to me when I heard it. So I just had to throw that out. So now we've talked about what's trending. We're going to play a song and then we're going to come back and we're going to get close with Felice Tamara Jackson. Okay. I want to remind you that you're listening to the number one internet radio station, IntellectualRadio.com, and iHeart Radio Station.
My way. Holla, this wine is on the mic. With my homeboy, Jordy, we do it like homies. Okay, then we show them. Say they want from Africa, Cameroon to America. We whine it like we don't care. Like this we go, la 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 la. Carlos, my way. My way. Holla, this wine is on the mic. With my homeboy, Jordy, we do it like homies. Okay, then we show them. Say they want from Africa, Cameroon to America. We whine it like we don't care. Like this we go, la 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 la. Carlos, my way.
Welcome you back to the number in studio guest. I am who? I am she. You know what? Introduce yourself, girl.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Felice Tamara J. I am originally from Chicago, born and raised. I'm a writer, director, published author, producer, filmmaker, actress, comedian, model. I do comedy skits. Got a lot under my belt, so that pretty much sums it up.
I want to say that I remember Girls Media Magic.
Yes.
And I will never forget your that board that you made. I can't think of the name of the board right now. When they asked everybody to do the board and you did your board, and some of the things that you had on that board, and you said, because I think I have a recording of it, and you talked about those things and how they were going to happen. And I looked around, I was saying, "Dog, them things will start happening."
Yeah, they're slowly happening. Yes, they are.
Now, were you born? Are you originally from Chicago?
Yeah, born and raised. Been here, born and raised all my life. Yeah.
And where'd you?
North.
North.
Yeah.
Is that like a?
It's a little closer to Taft High School. It's around close to Belmont. It's like on Mobile and Berry.
Okay, is that school, does it have like a specialty? You know, like some schools have film, theater, music.
Time when I was attending, we didn't have anything like that. But right now, it's just a school of academics. So, but they do have like theater and drama classes.
Okay, all right.
In there now.
Okay, now you're born in Chicago. My thing is, who were your influences? Really?
I'm gonna be honest. I am a huge fan of Carol Burnett, and growing up as a child with her doing, the multiple characters and the little skits within. And I would put on little shows and entertain them and do little skits. And I always said that I wanted my own one-woman show. And I still do to this day.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now, how did you prepare yourself for the career that you're embarking on today?
Well, I went to Columbia College. I attended Columbia. And in school, going into like my grammar and into high school, like I said, back then we really didn't have like theater or anything like that. So in the 6th grade, I wrote my very first play, and it was a Christmas play. So I was so enthused about acting back then. So I talked my teacher, if she's watching, her name is Miss Reed, if she's still alive. She read my play, and I begged her and asked her could our class perform it. And that's when it started, in the 6th grade, when I wrote my first play. So that's when I knew I wanted to become a writer. So from then on, I would write short stories. Once again, I would read them to my cousins, to my mom. I did a little poetry. And as I got older, I would watch television.
Okay.
And I remember watching like the Brady Bunch, Partridge Family, and everything that they would do. You wouldn't think that being an actress back then would be something that would be great for a career. I went with that, so I got into modeling first. So I started modeling, did some fashion shows, did some print modeling, but that wasn't my niche. I didn't want to do that. So I continued to write. And I continued to do little skits and things like that. And I really didn't break into my acting career until 2010.
Okay, you said that when you were in school, you wrote a little skit and you asked the teacher to, y'all want to put the skit on and perform it. You talked about watching the sitcoms that were on TV. Okay, my thing is, so that those influences were the things that kind of start molding your career. Yes. There wasn't a family member or I'm always looking for a family member or cousin or relative.
No.
Okay, it's strictly from the TV.
It was strictly from the TV. Because even from comedy, I really got into comedy when I wasn't supposed to be watching Richard Pryor.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. My uncles and my mom, that's when we had the record players.
Okay.
And, they would play the records, and then we moved on to the cassette players. And they always had collections.
Honey, that's when they had that vinyl, honey.
Yeah. And I would sneak here and would sneak and listen to the records of Richard Pryor. And I, of course, the profanity and the things that he talked about at that age. I think I was about probably 10. I really didn't understand. But when he was talking about Mudball, remember that the different voices, the different characters and things like that, that's what molded me into comedy. So Richard Pryor was mainly the very first comedian that really made me wanted to go into comedy.
Okay. Now, I know that, we know that there's also some acting in your career. did you at Columbia? You majored in what?
Film.
In film.
Yeah. And
Okay.
my minor was dance choreography.
Okay, so everything was behind the scene.
Mm-hmm.
So you had the influences from the TV. Now, when did you get? I swear I love him. When did you get your first break into an acting career?
2010. It was a director by the name of Elizabeth Noni. What's it? Plus Size Productions. I went to. That's when Explore Talent was really popular before we found out that they were a scam. I went to Explore Talent and I submitted my information. I got an interview through them and I got an audition.
Okay.
So I landed the audition and I got the role of Caprice, which was a supporting role in a stage play. And when I was going to rehearsals and, you know, doing my lines and doing the readings, and that is what really sparked it to let me know that's what I really wanted to do. So when I got on that stage and I performed in front of that live audience, that was the very first time I've ever had an acting gig. And I was so nervous. But when I hit that stage as my role and my character, and I saw how I was able to draw the audience into me and into my energy, and I was able to make them laugh and excited and have them to interact with me, that's how I knew when I really wanted to get into acting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Another thing I want to ask you. Okay, I know that you're an author.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you started writing, you said, the stage play. One of the things that kind of led you into publishing the book. Now, talk about those books. And I know that those books are, they're more like a manual.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's some of them are little short stories.
Yes.
So what influenced you to write those books?
Well, like I said, I've always wanted to be a writer. I always wanted to be an author. And I just sat down one day and I thought to myself, Terry McMillan, I would say, but Stephen King is definitely my favorite author. I'm really big on horror, suspense thrillers, and mystery and things like that. So the books that I've written are erotic thrillers.
Mm-hmm.
So they're pretty much erotica, of course, and I'm a big fan of Zane as well. So the erotica comes from that. And the thriller and all the other things come from Stephen King. So I combine them together. So I just sat down one day and I just thought, like, you write stories all the time. So just write a book. And that's what started my journey as an author.
Okay.
How many books have you written?
I've written 2. Yeah. And unfortunately, I have to republish my books because the publisher that I was using, I had to break my contract because she was not legit.
Expiring part has overgrown that, because you've been in several movies. Have you done theater?
Time we seek them out.
Okay.
We seek agents out, and you never know who's good for you until you submit. Time represented by Gil Hayes, which is Hayes Talent now.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say it's been quite of a journey with them.
Had you been there before?
No,
this is your first time.
Well, I got booked with them in 2016 in August.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's when I got signed.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, did you seek them out, or you seek them out?
I had a good friend by the name of Eugene Parker. Hi, Eugene. If you're listening, he's the one that pulled me under his wing, and he grabs me, and he was like, "We need to get you an agent." He was like, because you're doing really good, and your talent needs to be somewhere where it can help you get more gigs and get more bookings. So he took me there on a raw audition. I just walked through the door and just told them I wanted to audition to be represented. They gave me a script. I went and memorized the script and did a cold reading and got signed the same day.
Wow. Okay. How much does your agent? I mean, I've always wondered how much does an agent really help you in getting roles? I mean, I guess I look at Chicago. Chicago is becoming a mecca, especially for film.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been a mecca for theater, but especially for film. I mean, every time we turn around, they're shooting a film.
Okay.
So, how much does an agent help you in getting roles? Other than like they do the series of Empire, Chicago Fire, Chicago Meds, right here in Chicago. Whereas on Facebook, you can go on there anytime, and there are posts.
Yeah, well, those are for extra roles.
Okay,
so that's totally different from going for audition for a speaking role.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so you
educate me.
Right, you submit yourself for extra roles. Your agent will never submit you for an extra role.
Okay, so if you have an agent, can you go and do an extra role?
Well, yeah, but most of them tell you not to.
Okay.
And the reason behind that is, which it does kind of make sense, and sometimes it can work in your favor as well. So if you're seen on Empire a lot as a background extra, and they see you all the time as a background extra, how would they be able to submit you for a speaking role? If your face is seen in the background, probably as one of Cookie's assistants in the office, or one of Hakeem's or Jamal's recording production people in the studio, and your face is already shown. But if your agent submits you for a speaking role, then people would be like, well, wasn't she just in this scene with Jamal or Cookie as an assistant? How is she turning around to be? It's really, like I say, it's really up in the air. It's kind of hard to like figure out what you want to do, because extra roles are really hard to get. Speaking roles are not. Okay. So what happens is the casting director comes forth for a speaking role, the directors, and your agent just submit whatever the person is looking for. So if a director is looking for an African-American female, black hairs, 5'6", 140 pounds, I may fit that description. And what she does is submit all of her clients that fits that description, and it's up to the casting director and the director to pick and choose who they want to come in for an audition.
Okay, another thing about that. So you say that it's not. So you really wait for your agent
to get on your own. That's all yours.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if I got booked for a film that my agent submitted me for, whatever the percentage, 20%, 10%. So,
and the agents don't mind.
Well, some do. Some are exclusive and they don't want you working with nobody, and some are not. But the only difference is it's being able to be picked up by another agent opposed to the same.
So exclusive to
exclusives mean only them.
Only them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Another thing that
having my movie premiere, which is, just to show you guys, this is my flyer. My movie premiere is May 31st, which is on it's a black tie event.
Black jean suit. I'm just talking. Because I'm a jean person, but I'll try to get black tie.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
And I also had I would say 3 more projects that I'm working on.
Let's talk about them.
My next project that I'm writing now, one is called When the Tables Turn, and the other one is called He, Me, and She, and I'm also working on an animation as well.
Okay, there's a movie, and I know it's something about a baby. That
got a baby, and that is something that I've been cast in, and that is a John West film. Oh. It's by the director and producer is John West, and it's going to be pitched through Sony Pictures. Yeah,
that's a big role, right?
Yes. So in Brenda's Got a Baby, just to let everybody know that Brenda's Got a Baby is not a Tupac film. Brenda's Got a Baby is derived from a newspaper article that Tupac rapped about. So that's what it is. Tupac. It was an article about a young girl who was prostituting and ended up getting pregnant by her uncle or something like that. She got molested or raped and ended up getting pregnant, and they found her body in the alley. So he rapped about that song.
Excuse me.
So Brenda Got a Baby is actually Tupac's song about a newspaper article.
Now, when is this film? Excuse me. When is this film coming out?
Well, we're working on shooting the trailer in September. So the producer name is John West Jr. He's on Facebook, and we're just waiting to hear from him. And he's from LA.
Oh, okay. Now, something else I was going to ask you about. Okay, your event is May 31st, right? Mm-hmm. And you said you wanted to give away some tickets?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So if anybody is tuning in, I wanted to give away 2 tickets to my movie premiere.
You're ready.
What side of town am I from?
Oh, I can answer that.
Right.
But I'm not. You can call in to 708-223. What side of town is Felice Tamara Jackson from? Okay, what's the other question?
And the other question is, what grammar school did I graduate from?
Did I ask you that?
No.
I did.
Yes. You say high school.
Oh, high school. Oh. Okay, you've got about 5 minutes to call in to 708-223-8953 and win these tickets. This is a movie that
I've written all by myself.
Okay, who produced it?
Me.
Good.
Yeah. I'm the
writer. You wrote it?
Writer, director, and producer.
The whole thing?
Yes.
Okay, did you use any of the local talent? We need to try to get that whole cast in here, don't we?
I'm definitely working on it.
Girl, we need to try to get that cast in Intellectual Radio. And you said it's a red carpet event. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So when that happened, you rent the whole theater out for that night?
No. Social area is around the bar, and I rent out a theater. So it's a lot of socializing first. You get out, meet and greet with the guests, with the people that come, with the cast. You meet and greet, take photos with the cast. I'm going to do a quick speech right before. I have a DJ, so we're going to be playing some music. I'm going to be serving some hors d'oeuvres and things like that. And we're going to watch the movie. And right after that, we're going to do a Q&A. And if anybody want to ask any more questions, and then we'll take more pictures, socialize a little more, and then it's over.
Yeah, I know. We went, I think it was when I first came here to Intellectual Radio, probably about 4 years ago. I had the opportunity. I can't remember the name of the movie, but I had the opportunity to go to a red carpet event along with the owner and the producer of Intellectual Radio, and it was really a nice event because it was the first time I'd ever did it, and because usually, hey, the movie come out, we go, the movie come out, we stream it. However, but it's to go to an event when they're showing it, it is a great thing to do. It really is.
Okay, guys, one more time. I'm giving out 2 tickets to my movie premiere. And I have 2 questions that you need to ask. The first question is, what side of town am I from? And the second question is, what grammar school did I graduate from?
Okay, the number is 708-223-8953. And you have just a few minutes to call in. You know what else they could do? They could always inbox you.
Yes.
Okay. And the first one to inbox you with the correct answer will get the ticket. Okay. Now, we talked about all the projects that you've worked on. I want to ask you this. I got to ask this. I said I wasn't going to ask. A lot of them didn't see the picture, but there's a very controversial picture out there with I am she on the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you, I didn't know what to think.
What do you mean?
I really didn't know what to think when I saw the picture. But then I went back and I looked at it again. No, that's not the one. The one that was posted out there the other day.
Which
Did
one?
you go to a photo shoot?
Which one? With me holding the
lips.
teddy bear?
The lips.
Oh, yes, that was definitely a photo shoot, guys. You know, I had so many people in my inbox asking, like, "Oh my God, that photo is so hot! Like, why is the
That
lips
photo
there?"
is hot.
I say the reason why I put the lips there is because to make it tasteful. I mean, I had on a jumpsuit,
Okay.
so like that's why I put in the caption, "I have clothes on." But why, even if I have clothes on, why would I expose all of that? No, that's why I said that's an illusion.
Okay, now is that going to be used somewhere? I just
It could possibly.
in a
I've
ad or
I've already had people to ask me if they can use that photo.
because you know what, I'm gonna tell you something. I started to use that photo. I'd already put out the little video. I started to take that video down and put that photo out. So let me see
You
how
could
much.
have. You could
I
have
say,
used
let me
it.
see how much interest I could draw.
All you had to do was just ask me. But I've had issues in the past when I've done photo shoots, and I've actually found a lot of my photos in the past on pluggers and clubs and things like
Without
that
your permission?
without my permission. That has happened. Yes, that has happened,
Oh,
and
wow.
I don't like that. I don't like that
Well,
at all.
can you sue a person for doing that?
I mean, like who would you go to? Like who made the flyer?
Right, and then once it's put on Facebook, all they've got to do is what, copy.
Right. And people don't even make
save the photo.
flyers too much anymore.
Right.
Everything is on social media.
Right.
Everything
Absolutely.
is on social media. So that's how it is.
Okay, so now are you working on a film now?
Yes, I'm working on my next film now.
Okay, because I saw you somewhere where you had been over in Indiana. When people coming on the show, I try to follow them close by to see what they're doing, and that's why I knew you was at a shoot to do that picture.
Well, I was on a set of a pilot that I got booked for. Thank you, Matt Campbell. I want to send you a shout out. I thank you for that so much. Matt Campbell is phenomenal. He's another producer. He's with what's it? Case Files, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Case Files Chicago. I got booked for a role on that as well, when they do the reenactment scenes. And that's how I met Matt Campbell. And he needed someone for the pilot, and it was for a speaking role in the pilot. And he contacted me, and I got the role. Yeah. So we were in Indiana when we shot it.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to leave your audience with before we go?
Yes. This is my last time, guys. This is the last time. I'm giving out 2 tickets to my movie premiere. And all you have to do is answer one of these questions. If you answer one of these questions, you will win a ticket to my movie premiere. The first question is, what side of town am I from in Chicago? And the second question is, what school did I graduate from? So if any of you know the answer to these questions, you can call 708.
Now they can tell them to inbox you.
Okay, they can inbox me.
Yeah.
You can inbox me the answers. And for more followings, to learn more about me, you can follow me on Snapchat at Silhouette27. That's SILHOWETTE 27, or my Instagram, Felice_Tamara_J.
All right. We want to thank you, Felice Tamara J, for being our in-studio guest here at Intellectual Radio, an iHeart radio station. And this is Rhythm Flow Radio with Katie Lowe. I always got to leave you with something before I go. I want to tell you, self-love, self-respect, and self-worth, they all start with self. Remember, it's not what you think you are that holds you back. It's what you think. It's what you think you are not. Think about yourself. You gotta cut. Yeah. I'm gonna start this over.
I'm sorry, I was trying.
Self-love, self-respect, and self-worth. They all start with self. Remember, it's not what you think you are that holds you back, it's what you think you are not. Think about yourself and enjoy the rest of your weekend. You've been listening to the number one internet radio station, Intellectual Radio site, IntellectualRadio.com, and stay tuned for Here's to Life with Zimra.
Yo, J May, Shirley King, Frank Gristle. Just got up for work and I just got paid. Looking forward to the parties I can hardly wait. Been waiting for the weekend like a holiday. Working all weekend now, I'm ready to play. Tonight is the party, are you ready to go? Ready to go. We're gonna let our hair down into the floor. If you don't want to party, you can hit the door. We're gonna take our body down and move the road.
It's the weekend. Me and my friends gonna drink all the juice and gin. It's the weekend, we'll get it started, baby. It's the weekend. Me and my friends gonna light up the bar again. It's the weekend, I'm gonna party, baby.
Now it's time to party, leave your worries behind. Got your party to the beat and everything will be fine. Don't worry about my rent and how the bills is so high. Just living for the weekend, let me tell you why. Tonight I'm getting started and that's the show. Gonna wear this mini skirt and take it to the floor. If you don't want to party, you can hit the door.